morning and welcome to Village in Motion. I'm Marcia Boyles and I'm delighted to begin today's segment with Diane Havinga, who is our Channel 6 station manager. Diane is chair of the 2016 Blood Drive. Welcome, Diane, to your own studio.
Well, thank you so much, Marcia, and I'm really pleased to be here to talk about one of my favorite subjects. Can you believe that?
You've been doing this for a while too, haven't you?
Gosh,
How many years?
So. And coordinating the blood drives, at least 10. I'd have to look into that because, you know, I wasn't the first person who started these blood drives.
Who started it?
So Marnie Perlick, who unfortunately passed a couple years ago, was one of our long-term residents, and she was a huge advocate for blood drives. So she was the first who really started having ANOVA come over to do blood drives. And then, to be honest, I don't know how I got involved or why. I kind of know why I probably got involved, but I guess she needed help, and next thing I know, I was helping her, and now I work with the wellness, I think it's the wellness committee here, you know, through resident council. So it is definitely a joint effort between staff and residents.
And an excellent one. Okay, I knew it had been a long time. I didn't know it had been 10 years. That's amazing. Diane, tell us when this starts. So
the last blood drive for this year, and this is our second of the year, will be in 2 weeks, Thursday, October 27th. It's at Hunters Crossing Conference Center, so it's really a great, you know, just walk down the stairs or, you know, walk over to Hunters Crossing. It starts at 9 a.m. and it goes to 2 p.m. That's the last time someone can actually walk in and see if they can give blood. And it's a wonderful opportunity to help your neighbors. And by giving blood, it does several things. There's several positives for you as a donor, but of course for the person receiving your blood, you help save 3 lives, which is huge.
Each pint is 3 lives.
Right.
That's amazing.
And someone mentioned the other day at our town hall meeting who is a donor, and she goes, plus they send you a postcard when they use your blood, which is pretty cool. So you do get a little...
Is that
yes,
right? I didn't know that.
A thank you on that. But in terms of the benefits for you as a donor, you get a mini checkup because they're going to test your blood to see how your hemoglobin or iron content is. So they test your blood, they test your blood pressure, they check your temperature, and they ask you, you know, some personal questions, height and weight. There is a minimum. Someone asked me the other day, a resident said, well, I'm not sure I hit the, I can give because my weight may be too low. And I said, well, yeah, it says 110. She was like 109, and I said, you know, I think you can sneak through.
Now, do they actually weigh you?
They don't weigh you, so you can just say,
it's on the outer
you can fudge. There is an age limit, but believe me, everyone here, except for maybe some of our servers, it's eligible by age. They do not cut you off just because you've turned 62 or better.
There's a minimum age.
A minimum age of 16.
But not a maximum.
And you have to have your parents' signature for that. But there is no upper.
Most of us
you think you
are
qualify?
beyond that. Yes.
I think so too. So there are a couple things though that you can do to help prepare yourself. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that. So
let me just stop and ask you one quick question here. Can you walk in, or do you have to make an appointment?
You can walk in. Now, some people say, well, why are you asking for these reservations, Diane, if we can walk in? Well, a lot of that is just so that ANOVA can plan properly.
The logistics, sure.
Right,
that would
to have
sense.
enough staff on hand. They'd rather be prepared for a full day of giving blood versus they only sent, say, X amount of people, and then all of a sudden they're inundated and
there seem to be
have
plenty
to wait.
Of staff down there.
Right. So
basically,
we are set up right now to have pretty much every 15 minutes 4 people can be giving blood at any one period of time. There's a little low at lunch when the ANOVA staff goes on their lunch break, where it gets cut down to 2 for about a half an hour. But other than that, there are 4 tables situations set up for
cubicles
people to come,
or whatever.
Right, to come in and give blood.
4, all right.
But with that, so we do ask for reservations, and I know the resident council, again, the Health Services Committee has been really a great, huge support. They embraced this last year. When ANOVA asked for us to do 2 drives, and this is ANOVA asking us to do 2 drives. We were down to 1 drive a year, and they said, you know, you folks are so great about donating. We really would like to do 2 drives. And we said, well, we'll try. So this is our first attempt after a couple of years of not doing 2 drives to do 2 drives. So
I see.
We hope to be able to continue it because staff like it. The advantage for me as a staff person is all I have to do is walk over to Hunter's Crossing. Yeah. It takes about an hour. And I don't have to take time off from work. The company allows us to use this as a benefit. Versus if I had to go to a blood drive, I have to drive there. Yes. It could take, you know, if you consider driving time, a half a day.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So this is a great advantage.
How many pints do you tend to collect?
Well, we have a goal, and our goal is 41 pints. So we try to get about 60 reservations. So people say, well, 60, and you're done. Huh? Well, how does that work? Well, as you probably know, Marcia, some people, once they get there, for whatever reasons, they aren't able to donate that day. It could be they're really not feeling that healthy. It could be their hemoglobin, and I'll talk about how you can get your hemoglobin. That's a big one for women, where they're not able to because their hemoglobin is too low. Maybe their blood pressure spiked that day. I mean,
or too low.
Or too low. Or the other barriers right now is the whole travel issue, where, you know, maybe they went to a country that is malaria, what's the word, that has malaria, and so they're not able to donate because of that, or they're on a medication.
No, you said also the Zika virus.
It could be Zika, but I don't know if ANOVA is really testing for that right now.
The Caribbean, I think, people might be concerned about it from there. But and as you're saying, medication?
Medications. Now, ANOVA does have a site. You can go online. You can call me too, but I'm not going to be as helpful as the site. And it will talk about the eligibility or restrictions there's on their website, and it's basically, if you just Google ANOVA blood services, you could go right to their blood site. There's a lot of frequency asked questions. I will say, if you're on Coumadin, yes, you will not be able to
probably
donate.
Any of the blood thinners, warfarin,
and they actually ask you not to be taking any aspirin 2 days before, and that's because it thins your blood, not because of anything else. And there are some certain restrictions, like if you had dental work, you know, like I'm not talking about getting your teeth cleaned, like drill, you know, the fun stuff. I think there's a time limit that you have to wait. So there are certain reasons why people get rejected.
What about antibiotics, I wonder?
I believe it depends, and again, I'd have
which one it is.
I'd have to look at my notes. I know if you've gotten the flu.
Flu shot or flu?
The flu shot, excuse me. Here it is. So if you have allergy or flu vaccines, they're acceptable. There's no wait period if symptoms are free. If you get the hepatitis B vaccine, you need to wait 14 days. But yeah, if you've been vaccinated, you're fine. So one thing you want to do to prepare for donation is, I always say, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. So you want to start drinking. You want to start drinking from now, but definitely the day of. If you're going to do it in the morning, make sure you have a good breakfast. But this is where I would maybe hold off on the caffeine coffee, do the decaf, but drink. And I would say when you walk in, you know, we have water and juices. Grab yourself some juice and water and be drinking as you're
And don't come in fasting.
No, you cannot fast when you give blood. So eat a good breakfast, drink a lot, avoid fatty foods 24 hours before. I'm not sure why, but okay. This is where you can eat that red meat. You want to be eating iron-rich foods. So as you mentioned earlier, liver, if you love liver, now's the time to be eating the liver. But any red meat, fish, poultry, vegetables, those dark leafy vegetables, start eating that from now. Dry fruits, nuts, whole grains, eggs. Start eating a
good, healthy diet.
And do it from now. And that will help you with the hemoglobin issue. Again, drink a lot of water at least 24 hours before. And here's something interesting, especially when it's warm, which means the heat. I thought it was saying the warm versus the liquid. So it's recommended 4 good-sized glasses of water or juice 3 hours before your donation.
4 glasses.
Right. Because part of that, it has to do with when they're drawing your blood. You want your blood to come out as freely as possible. Right. And they actually have a time limit that you can't sit there for an hour waiting for your blood to come out.
Oh, I see. So your pressure has to be a certain, I'm sure, level.
So in terms of that. So if anyone has any questions, they can call me and I'll be happy to try to answer them or give you the number of the blood donor services, and you can ask direct for that. And I would like to mention 2 residents who, one came to me and she said, Diane, I really want to give blood, but I'm not sure I can. And the reason I want to give blood is because I was in the hospital recently and I received blood transfusions. So I want to give back. And her issue was she was on Coumadin, and that's one medication that you can't. So my answer to someone in that situation, or you're in a travel situation where you can't do it because you've been in a malaria-infected country, bring someone else. Have someone go in your place. The other resident is Mary Sue Gardner, who's our resident council president, and she came to me the other day and she said, Diane, I can't give on October 27th, but what I did was I went to Inova and I gave there, and I credited Green Spring.
Oh, how nice.
So you can do that. So if you can't make our drive, but you still are eligible to donate, you can tell Inova, I want to credit this to Green Spring, and we get that credit.
Well, Diane, I think this is a wonderful service that you're providing, and the residents now have the opportunity to do, so it's all good.
Well, thank you. And again, just October 27th, we have reservations, but if you're not sure you can make it, we will be accepting walk-ins. It's 9 to 2 p.m., and we want to make this successful. And as an extra incentive, Inova, notice I'm wearing one of my and I'm going to turn around here so they can get it. They're going to have T-shirts, long-sleeve T-shirts. Oh. And because it's Halloween, it's going to be a Halloween-themed T-shirt.
I see.
So
that surely should provide all the incentive that's needed.
You think so?
I do.
I hope so. Plus there's goodies. We have dining services who always comes through and
once
gives us.
Once you give the blood, then you have goodies.
Right. Cookies. So win-win.
There certainly is no downside to this. Thanks, Diane.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll stop now and have a roll-in.